So welcome back to my Best Start series, guys. Boy, do we have a lot of things to talk about today. Yesterday, one of you commented or asked, why was I not using the Call of the Arbiter codes? And the answer, I uh, I forgot. They're supposed to be time limited. I think it still says that it's time limited in the tab. We'll go there in a second. Um, but the section seems to still be there, so we're going to check it out and we're going to see if we can get some new free stuff out of that because that would be super cool. Second thing on the list of many things to talk about is this guy, Rathlos. This guy is going to be completely amazing. He looks like he's got an absolute bonkers set. Um, I've looked him over. There's also a fusion coming up, and it's kind of sad that we're probably not going to be anywhere close to doing the fusion because she looks like she'd be amazing for pretty much any account. Um, the fusion looks like she's going to be good at soloing Sand Devil, but we're not even close to Sand Devil, so much for that idea. But Rathlos, he looks like he's going to be good at just about any boss, so that's a fun thing to look forward to in a number of days. We, of course, have other things to look forward to. We've got gear from here, we've got gear from there, we got a book here. We're gonna get all the gear for our reviver tomorrow. That's gonna be cool. Um, hey, there's a new mythical. Who cares? Who's getting mythicals in this game? The whales are getting mythicals. So let's just level our War Maiden. Um, I'm gonna stop by the market quickly. I haven't logged in since last night. I tried to hover over the game for a while. That's kind of why this is starting on day 2 of Rathlos and not day 1 because I was hovering yesterday. So when it showed up, I was there to get it. So yeah, Call of the Arbiter Limiter Series. It's here. The light was still up. I assumed it was basically just there'd still be links to the cartoon, but there could be more to it than that. Here, let's check in first. We'll check in. Oh, also, and I haven't put the notes back up. I kind of shifted over to this. These are the Call of the Arbiter codes. So you know what? Let's do them first. That makes the most sense. So we'll go to the game and we'll do the Call of the Arbiter. So yeah, I mean we could do the share the trailer and maybe I have to click on something like copy. Is that it? There used to be a place to enter the codes. That's why I put the codes out there. Um, I made a nice little document with all the codes last time. You know what? Now that I look at this stuff, I mean, it might even do to kind of keep this stuff here for when we're ready. Although, you know what? I really want that chicken. 4-star chicken's pretty awesome. But you know what? Yeah, we'll grab it so we don't have to worry about it. But when this first came out, there was even gear and stuff. So share, copy. But I guess they removed that stuff, just not the episodes, which is good. It looks like they worked hard on the episodes. Um, Out of all the adaptations of these gacha games, they're not the best. You know, they're kind of shallow, honestly. You know, I I I know I shouldn't speak ill of Raid Shadow Legends, but I just call it as I see it. Yeah, it's too bad there's not more. But that just means we can get to the third thing. So this is actually just the same file. How big are these going to look? It's way too big. Okay, so let's just do. How's that look? Does that look right? That looks right. Everything fits. You can even kind of see the coda codes at the bottom. That's going to bother my OCD. There we go. Problem solved. So we have on the list of things to do from missions. we have deal 500,000 damage to the Demon Lord. So let's deal 500,000 right now. And in fact, we have some cool things to collect. Let's see if we get a shard today. We haven't got a shard yet. We keep getting gear, which is kind of cool, but even the gear we're getting is kind of not fantastic. So easy. I tossed in Grinner. Is that really the best? You know what? I think I just tossed him in because I wanted to level him in dungeons, but I think I'd actually prefer to use her. Maybe even, nah, we'll make it her. And we'll do a quick battle. I might even just quick battle a lot because I'm not sure uh, if we get quite up to, wait a minute, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? It's just 500,000. We're doing way more than that. I just wasted a key. Whoops. Here I was thinking we had to do 5,000,000. We had to do 500,000. So win artifacts from Dragon, stage 3 or higher. Um, this is going to be kind of random, but we may as well get on it because what else are we going to do? We do have to do the dailies. So I reorganized my notes. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. I tried to make this a lot more efficient. So basically priorities have now switched around. We know it's day, what is it, day 10? We've picked our starter. We already know that we picked our starter. We either picked Kale or we didn't. If we didn't pick Kale, maybe we have buyer's remorse. Maybe we don't. Maybe we're like, screw you, Gavin. You know the best is Athel, right? Athel is the best. She's got like the big girl version of Weekend. She's got 3 hits on her A1. She's got a self buff so she can cycle through her turns. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I just made up. You're absolutely right. Athel is awesome. Why didn't I pick her? Damn it. Anyway, so we'll do the dailies, clan boss missions, and challenges. That's what we're going to start with. Day 1 and 2. So I've kind of I'm going to keep updating this and I'll have a tentative sense of what you're supposed to do on a given day. But basically, day 1 and 2, you're trying to get that initial speed gear, which has maybe helped us and maybe not. I'm not sure because we don't have a speed lead yet. That's why if you go down to number 9, I have um, I've decided I'm going to try to push the Brimstone path now because we've completed Shieldguard. He's fully booked now. Actually, maybe he's not. There's one good way of checking, come to think of it. If we go to the tavern, I think it maybe he has all but one book. Oh yeah, so he's basically just missing the extra 10% damage, which, I thought we could stop there, but then, I gotta we got an extra shield guard. So now he is fully maxed out and he's going to be awesome. So he's definitely going to be our next 5. If we switch back to the notes tab then, I've got a list of 5 stars in the order I think we should probably make the 5 stars. So the plan is Kale, Shield Guard, uh, whatever reviver we choose, which is probably going to be Grinner on this account. If you didn't get a reviver other than Shaman, it's Shaman. Shaman will do. Honestly, Shaman's probably not any worse than Grinner, but Grinner is going to be easier to build. And we do have Armiger, and I would like to build Armiger to 5 stars at least. Then we get started on the 6 stars. We probably don't even need Armiger because we do have Sun Wukong, and he's already level 50. But basically, to get to the last section in challenges on champions, we need to have 4 level 50s. So that means we actually need to make 4 50s before we can graduate to the next and final area of champion challenges. So we never again have to worry about making it through all of that. So that said, we're going to do the dailies because that's what we're supposed to do. Actually, and then he interrupts himself. Do we have battles like Reach Bronze 2 and Classic? Yeah. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do the dungeon runs now. In fact, we might even want to upgrade this guy now. We got a chicken, so we could eat the chicken. We could take her. Yeah, let's unlock this champion. We're not using her. We don't need her. And remove and sacrifice or just sacrifice? I forget. Was there anything really good on it? You know what? Let's pay the 2,000 to remove it just in case. We'll upgrade Shieldguard to level 5 or to rank 5. And this is for the dailies anyway. Let's put a couple of brews in him just to make sure he's at about the stats that he was. And, you know, it's just like real life. You know, if you're not feeling your best before a battle, you go to a tavern and you get good and drunk so that you look and feel your best when it's time to fight. So let's go to the... Actually, let's go to the summon portal. We need to summon 3 champions. We can see if we could get ultra lucky. I think often I do 10 pulls because I get impatient. I don't even know why I'm doing this time. On my main account, this is what I do. I come here and I spend just 3. Just 3 mystery shards. Because I basically just need to complete the quest and move on. I'm not so worried on the main account about acquiring enough food from these. There will be enough food, and then I have tons of shards to pull when I need to pull tons of shards. We need to win 7 campaign battles. We need to do that mission. I suppose it doesn't matter what order we do it in. I mean, we will do enough campaign battles because we are going to end the day farming more. So, yeah, let's get to that dungeon. So we just need to win 1 frost or lifesteal artifact from the Dragon's Lair. Stage 3 or higher. Okay. And we want to push this anyway. At this point, we've got a more powerful account. We can probably... Well, we can probably do 7. That's probably not a problem. I do want to bring... And this is why I changed this, I suppose. I want to bring Grinner, just so he's kind of passively leveling. It'd be nice to get him to the point where he can actually be a reviver that's still alive. After champions fall, right now he's probably just the target, particularly on green affinity, spirit affinity. He's going to be the target. So for now, he's basically food. And this is running pretty efficiently. So we could try pushing Dragon 9. I'm pretty happy with just running Dragon 7 a bunch of times, just to try to get the Frostbite thing or the Lifesteal thing once. Probably worth going after Lifesteal. We do want Lifesteal for Shieldguard. We want it for Kale. It probably wouldn't hurt to put it on Gorlos or War Maiden if we switch to War Maiden. And we might want to put it on Rathlos when he comes in. Because Rathlos already has some built-in ignore defense on the boss. He's going to be on our clan boss team for sure. I am quite looking forward to Rathlos. He is a very nice free champion. Thank you, Plarium. I do apologize to you, Plarium, for all the times I give you a hard time. And I realize, of course, Plarium's not really watching. Plarium's a company. They don't care how I feel. They only care about money and the numbers. So, you know, if you like the game and you feel like spending on the game, please do. You are the reason so many of the rest of us get to play this game for free. So Shieldguard now, I don't know if this is really the best showcase of Shieldguard, but at this point, his AoE comes every other turn. It's on a 2-turn cooldown. He gets his area of effect. I don't have him at max crit rate yet. Once he's at max crit rate, every time he does it to a wave of 5, he'll get a free turn. If he does it in campaign to a wave of 4, he'll get 80% of his turn meter recharge. So as long as he's within 20% of his next turn by the time he gets his first turn, he'd basically get to go again with a single attack. So basically, if you try to solo with him, he's going to use an area of effect attack and then immediately follow it up with a single attack. And he's just going to do that every turn. AoE, single attack. AoE, single attack. So he's basically, because he's cycling through his turns like that, he's basically as good as any other champion who has an area of effect on their A1. So other champions like Saurus from the Lizard Man faction, or there's another barbarian. She's a girl with braids. I mean, I could go look at the sheet, but Zephyr Sniper. Her name is Zephyr Sniper. So Zephyr Sniper and the Lizard Man, Saurus, both of them have an area of effect on their A1, so they can basically hit every single turn, but their modifiers are a lot lower. So if you try to farm with them, it's going to be harder than if you try to farm with Shieldguard. Shieldguard just has better modifiers on his A2, and that makes sense because it's not a default attack. It's like, that's his big main secondary move. Zephyr Sniper doesn't have a secondary attack. She just puts up little healing on everybody. So she can be a nice champion for a different reason. She can be good for support. But basically, this is my long way of saying Shieldguard, I think, is basically the best uncommon in the game for DPS. And there's our Frostbite. With maybe the exception of Armiger, but Armiger not for waves. Armiger for bosses. And we're going to build both, because I believe that much in them. So we got to equip 2 attack champions with level 12 gauntlets, boots, and chest pieces of attack percent as their primary stat. This is a mouthful. This is a lot. And that's really annoying. I don't want to do that. But we do have to. So let's do it. So we got this guy. Skink is attack. Did I use attack percent? And even if I didn't, we have to bring it up to 12. So let's see. Fitting. Yeah, we'll look at equipped pieces too. So we need stuff that's primary attack percent. This is made a lot easier since Plarium added this. And do I want to do it with him first, come to think of it? So he actually has the attack percent stuff. I want to give the better stuff to him. I'm going to give the better stuff to Saurus, even if he doesn't keep it. So filter. Primary stats. Attack percent. So he's got all this stuff. We have to build it to 12? Really? 12? Oh, and another thing. This is the weekly reset of clan quests. I didn't even put those in the notes. I think these need to be added to the notes. I'm not sure exactly where they are to go. Clan quests. They'll go somewhere. I'll figure it out later. So let's get back to the game. But I took 3 clan quests. 2 of them involve selling gear. This is one of the best quests you can take in the early game, because even in the elite quests, there's a gear selling one. So I took the elite one. It's our first elite quest. We have to sell 5 million in gear, which we're probably going to want, because it looks like we're going to blow through a lot of silver just building all this stuff to get through the missions. Come on, game. This is a lot nicer when you get to level 40 and it can at least give you an instant upgrade. It doesn't save you any silver, of course. You'll do an instant upgrade and it'll immediately tell you, this upgrade costs you 2 million silver. You're like, oh, I only had 2 million silver. You took all my silver so I could upgrade a 3-star artifact. Of course, in the end game, or even by the time you're level 40, you're probably not still building stuff like this. But honestly, I would almost never build an attack percent gauntlet. There's only one type of champion in the game I would actually recommend doing this with, and it's a bomber. And we don't have a bomber. We have 0 bombers. So let's equip this stuff. Oh yeah, we have artifact challenges as well. So we're doing double duty. And I knew this. I saw this yesterday, but I forgot. So we're doing double duty. We're gonna build this all the way to, come to think of it, there might be challenges where we have to build a bunch of things to 12, but it may not specifically be attack percent. I really hope it's not. I really hope it's not. But of the attack percent stuff, I mean, we've got these that are at least 3-star items, so it doesn't look so pathetic. But even with this, it's pretty bad. And if it weren't for the missions and the challenges, I would say never, ever, ever, ever dump silver into artifacts like this. So this is the odd thing about these missions and challenges. They are supposedly teaching you, they're supposedly didactic, they're supposedly pedagogical, but the reality is you shouldn't be playing like this. Like attack percent, yes, it's nice to have a little bit of attack percent, but basically on your gauntlets, you want crit rate or crit damage. That's what you want. If it's a damage dealer, crit rate, crit damage, it's way better than attack percent. On a chest piece, maybe attack percent. Maybe that's what you want because you can get the highest attack by doing that, but maybe you want some accuracy as well on the chest. Maybe you want some resistance so you don't get slapped around by debuffs so much. And on the boots, you probably want speed, to be honest, because attacking more frequently also equates to more damage. Anyway, we got these to 12. So if we look at our missions, that's halfway there. Let's look at the challenges. So we got this stuff. So we need to win 2-star or higher attack percent gauntlets. And we got to do all that. And you know what? Maybe we'll do it that way. Filter. We're going to look for our other attack percent things because these kind of suck, except this one. This is a 3-star. So that's not as bad, but because we have to do this anyway, why don't we farm for that first? And, you know, I pause here because I'm wondering, is there an answer to that? We go to the missions. Oh no. Half an hour. How far are we? So we've been playing for 23 minutes. This is going to cut us short, I guess. But they gotta do an update when they gotta do it. So we've got, says 30 there. So yeah, we're gonna top out at about 53 minutes today. So I'm sorry about that. Out of my hands. It's gonna be down for 15 minutes. We'll set up the farming after. I think we're still gonna get a lot of stuff done though. So for the missions, what have we got on the horizon? We have clearing Spider Den. We can do that. That's not a problem. We can even get to these gems, which I would like. There's even on the notes here, you know what? I'm going to go back to the notes, but first thing, I'm going to go back to the challenges, artifacts, just to make sure I'm seeing this right. So it has to be normal. So it's got to be at least 2-star attack percent gauntlets. Yikes. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to, that's not campaign. Does that look like campaign, Gavin? That's not campaign. That is not the right level either. So we're getting the gauntlets from stage 4. Because it's mostly because it's mostly force, I'm actually going to try farming with him. So let's see. We can still bring him as well, and her and him. So we have some food that isn't quite so bad. And you know what? We may as well use her aura. So he's our main damage dealer, but we're using our food for an aura just because Elhain has a good aura and Shieldguard doesn't. He should have no problem farming. And I've made another mistake. Did you spot the mistake that I just made? This game is unbelievable. This challenge is very unforgiving. So I'm gonna give you a moment to see if you caught the mistake that I just made. But I just made a mistake regarding the challenge. The mistake that I made. Are you ready for it? Have you answered yet? This skill testing question? It costs 6 energy to enter here because we are in hard mode. It's supposed to be normal mode. So we go back and we go to normal because we know what we're doing. We go to stage 4. So he's got no problem even farming hard at this point, at this level, at this difficulty level. But this is good because unlike Kale, actually Kale's still level 49. He can stand to gain one more level, but because there's so much force in here, I'd rather be using a spirit champion. So we could even use Saurus. This is fortuitous the way this turned out. Oh my goodness, that's great. We already got the gauntlets we need. So we'll move on to stage 2-5. Let's see if Saurus even gets a turn. I mean, he's not built as well, but Saurus is another fantastic farmer that could come through here. See, I mean, he's food, and he's still kind of finishing the fight for us. That's great. But you can use Saurus, you can use Zephyr Sniper, and you can use him. They're all great, but I think the strongest choice is Shieldguard because he's coming out, boom, and you can see he got back some turn meter there, but he's not 100% crit rate yet. Once we have some better gear, and I'll try to leave it farming on a gear dungeon one of these days. In fact, maybe that's something we should start setting up as soon as it's possible. Start farming gear dungeons. It's not as good for training up food. The best dungeon for experience is Spider. I think the second best might be Dragon. Fire Knight is third, but Fire Knight is really tricky because soloing Fire Knight or even two-manning Fire Knight requires very specific setups. So it might not be realistic. But I think it's third, and then the worst is Ice Golem. So if you're gonna do a dungeon for experience, Spider's the best one. Spider's also the best one for silver, and it's also the fastest as long as you're good at taking down the spider. It's just a question of where you are. So this is a bit dull and maybe not the best use of our airtime because I can also just leave the game farming here and hover over it later. But I figure we want to go through the challenges and missions as they come up. I don't know, maybe I'm being anal with the boots. It's not like I'm ever going to use the if I get 2-star attack percent boots or even 3-star attack percent boots. I mean, I've already built one. It's not like I'm going to use the second one. I'm almost certainly going to go for the speed boots, particularly the lowest orders. I think a 3-star speed boot is actually not bad, whereas a 3-star attack boot is pretty bad. We'll do another couple of runs. But then I want to take a look at my notes and see what else we've got on the horizon. But really, there's not a lot we can do. We kind of have to wait for Rathlos to come in. We got to wait until tomorrow to get our gear for Grinny McToothy. Why am I blanking on his name? Our reviver. Grinner. His name is Grinner. His name is Grinner. I'd love a better reviver than that, though. So, of course, there is the referral method. I've mentioned this before. I'm not doing the referral method because I don't think everyone knows how to do it or has the means of doing it. So I think this is a more representative method of going for it, even though Jamarsa is a super duper awesome champion. Really great. As far as epic revivers go, if you really want to go after Jamarsa, she'll probably be the main reviver on your account for a while, unless you happen to get really lucky and pull one of the really decent AoE reviver epics, um, like Gorlos or Ursula the Mourner. Gorlos is undead, so same faction as Grinner. Ursula the Mourner is Bannerlords. Uh, she's no longer even the best reviver in the faction because now there's a legendary version, Kaja the Rye. But there are a lot of great revivers out there. I'm sure there are AoE revivers I'm not thinking of. Oh yeah, you got like Tagore from the Orc faction. I believe every faction has a reviver either in the epic category or the rare category. So you don't ever have to hold out for a legendary just to get your reviver for the faction. There's always going to be at least an epic, and I think Ogres is the only exception where there's no epic reviver other than Ugo. Ugo is technically an AoE reviver, but there's a very specific thing that has to happen for her to get a revive, so it's maybe not realistic. But in that specific case, you have Gear Grinder, who is one of my favorite rares. He's a void rare, so you do have to pull void shards to get him. Oh, also, we got so close to getting a void shard yesterday. Is this it? That's not it, but I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore. So we've completed that. Grab, 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 grab. We want to do our arena fights. This is the problem with these events and challenges and stuff like that, where it's not really a challenge, it's a gamble. You're waiting for the game to just give you what you need. Equip 4 champions with 3-star or higher of level 8. Okay, we got to do that too. So if we go to the events tab, it was the champion training thing. Oh, and this way, at least we completed the fusion warm-up event. I wasn't even thinking about that, but we got the fusion warm-up event. I think this is day 3, if I'm not mistaken. So we will be getting a shard tomorrow for completing that. I think, though, that it might be good to just hold off on those shards until 2x at this point. That's what I'm thinking. If anybody is following along at this point in the video, particularly while we wait for this to load, I don't know why this is taking so long. But if you're following along at this point in the video, share your opinion on what I should be doing with shards at this point. My thinking is we should save for the 2x events. Please refresh this. Because you're just that much likelier to get an epic or legendary, and at this point that's what we want. We want epics and legendaries because we're getting reasonably close to the rares that we want. There are, of course, many more rares that would be worth building. So let's see. We have... Yeah, we were really only one off getting the Void Shard. And one more off getting the Legendary Skill Tome, which might actually help with Sun Wukong. The Fusion event, is this going to load? Hey, it's loading. We'll leave this stuff in for now. We even get Prism Crystals, but basically the Ancient Shard, that is the prize that we want. That is going to be something good. We've even got stuff in here. We should grab this now. That's not going to last. And we'll go ahead and grab this and this too. We're still at the phase of the game where this just keeps going up. Maybe I'll grab this too for the auto battles later. At a certain point, you hit a wall Um, yeah, we'll grab it also. You hit a wall where you run out of energy. And that really does feel like a wall for a lot of players out there. We'll see when that happens on our account. That can happen on your first day, honestly. If you just blitz through everything and try to go straight for like level 33, I don't know how high of a level you can reach on your first day, but here, let's load up a dungeon just so that I can look at my notes and talk to you while looking at my notes, but have the game doing something. Let's try stage 9. We don't have a proper reviver. We'll maybe die. I don't know. This was force, right? So it's reasonably good for a number of these champions. We could probably build up Armiger to fight bosses like this too. So we're going to come into some new gems soon. So that's why this becomes important. Now, I recommend that the first 800 gems go towards Kale or whoever your starter was. If it says Kale in my notes, assume I mean the starter, whoever your starter is. I know that that I keep writing Kale and that I do recommend Kale as the starter, but they're all perfectly fine in this role. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things which one you picked. They're going to be a good campaign farmer. They're going to be a good nuker for arena. They're going to be a good solo champion for farming the Minotaur, which is why you want to get them all their scrolls before pushing to that point of the Minotaur, because it is going to just speed up everything. After that, or possibly even before getting your 800 to your starter, the market. Because sometimes really good things will appear in the market. You might see Armiger appear in the market, and then I'd say clear your way to Armiger. Definitely pick up that first Armiger and subsequent Armigers. Sometimes you get ancient shards. We haven't gotten any yet. I can't believe our bad luck, but basically we haven't got any. But once you've done the market, and once you've done Kale, I'd say do the mine first and then do the ring. The ring can be good for leveling while you're not playing, so particularly for an account like ours. And are we going to make it? We're so close. Yeah, way to go, Kale. And I think this is a strong case for why you should pick Kale, because you saw how much more damage Kale did because of his poisons. So you want those poisons. I mean, that was like I just want to double check. That was force, right? No, it wasn't. This one's going to be force. So I think this one will kill us. But if we could consistently do stage 10, I'll even run it anyway just to see what happens. Because you know what? Stage 9 was probably very hostile to everybody else. But if we could do stage 10, we might even bring in her just because... We might even bring War Priest just because she's got gear. She's level 40. Grinner's completely the wrong affinity. He doesn't have his gear yet. He'll have it tomorrow. We'll get on top of Grinner tomorrow. But for now, we'll go after this. But if we can consistently farm this area, we don't have to worry about 3-star gear anymore. We can go straight to 4. And that would be quite a thing. So then we'll look at the ring. For the ring, my suggestion when unlocking the ring is instead of upgrading a single slot, just unlock each of the slots. Because if you're only coming back once per day, whatever champions are in there are only going to level by 1 level anyway. Because you have to come back to the Guardian Ring, and you have to manually upgrade the level each time. And Plarium, if you happen to be listening, that sucks. Why do you do that to us? It makes it practically worthless to upgrade those slots because they're going to stop when they reach their max level anyway. So there's almost no point in improving those slots. I still did it on my main account. I think I even still did it on my secondary account. But it seems kind of pointless because you can only get so far before you have to come back. in Pokemon, for example, I like to just compare this to Pokemon. In Pokemon, you put somebody in the daycare or the breeding facility or whatever, and they will continue to level forever. If you wander around for half the duration of the game and then you come back, they may have gained 50 levels. And I think that's the way it should be. You should be able to just passively level any champion there. So the Spirit Champions, it looks like, are having a much easier time staying in on Dragon 10, which is good. And even Kale is kind of making it. Like, this is super close. Sun Wukong, obviously, we're going to feel a lot better if we can get him his ascension. Maybe we should get on top of that because that's going to be really good. This piece kind of sucks, but you know what? We'll leave it for now. It's fine. We're going to get another warning? No warning yet, but how are we doing for time? We're about 41 minutes in. Okay, so we got roughly 12 minutes left. I want to take a look at. Hey, you know what? We got to do our fights. This is why it's good to check those dailies. Let's go to the arena. And you know what? I wasn't just being forgetful. I did want to put off trying this until I had 5-starred Shieldguard. So yeah, that's working. Let's just put it in full auto and see what happens. We can hover over it and make sure they're targeting the right champion. So it's like semi-auto. And in this case, I'm thinking Countess Lix. We really want to make sure we take out Countess Lix because she's the only one left. Countess Lix is an absolutely devastating champion if she goes at the right time because she can just come in and lock out your whole team. Luckily, we were faster. Oh, and let's just take a look at some things because this is what I was talking about earlier. So here we have multiple slots, and the recommendation is purchase the multiple slots before upgrading any individual slot. There's just much more value in having a second all the way to 5th slot than there is in upgrading a slot. I probably wouldn't even bother upgrading the slots, at least not for the first little while, but hey, we're at 505. We can unlock the gem mine. So let's do it. We're unlocking the gem mine. I probably should have waited just a little longer to make sure we're not on like our seriously bottom dollar. Like that 5 gems, oh 5, that hurts. But we're now going to get gems back while we sleep, basically. So we're going to get back 5 gems every 24 hours. Next time we get a lot of 500, we'll spend them on the mine again, and then we'll spend them on the mine again. So fairly quickly, as we continue to acquire gems, we'll get 15 per day. It takes 3 months for this to pay off, but we're in this for at least 6. Like I've decided, I'm running this series and at least until month 6, where we get our lovely Shill of the Drakes. Here, let's go to the daily login rewards. We see all the cool things, and let's just quickly look over the champions that are great. Haikatoon, awesome. Like 5 out of 5. For an epic, she is everything that you'd want. She's got a speed aura, not that we need it because we have Sun Wukong. She has this turn meter fill, and you know that's probably the main thing we want. She does have the decreased speed on the A1 as well, and it's the big girl version, which is a step up from what Shieldguard is doing. But Shieldguard also has the small version for when she misses, so it's a good one. The end of month 2, we get Yaga the Insatiable. He's worse than Kale or other rare poisoners. This guy needs a buff. Galarian, buff this dude. Hey, you know what though? Not a bad aura. His aura's decent, but like the rest of his kit is just kind of... Then we got Darkathel. Darkathel looks cool. Her kit looks like it would be cool. but I've never really found a way to use her. She seems like she'd be good at Spider, for example, but honestly, an AoE HP burn champion is way better for Spider, or just somebody that does proportional damage like Ermiger, who's an uncommon, is better at Spider than Dark Ethel. Dark Elhain is maybe one of the best epics in the game. She's completely amazing. Um, because she has this passive that kicks in whenever anybody freezes her party. So once we get Dark Elhain, she might become our first epic nuker, if we don't have one sooner. Because she's the perfect response to Tormund. We haven't seen Tormund in the arena yet, but when we start seeing Tormund's, Dark Elaine is a godsend. She's like the answer to Tormund that we need. Then we got Lordly Legionary. This guy looks so cool. Maybe he's kind of useful at Fire Knight, but by the time we get him, we'll probably have better things. We probably already have better things, honestly. Then here she is, Shield of the Drakes, month 6. This is who we're waiting for. And you know what? I can gush about these various champions, but I feel like we're wasting too much time. But yeah, she's got an AoE stun for crowd control, so awesome. She's got this heal for everybody. She has a single target revive that's got a pretty good cooldown, and it puts the ally protection on them. And she's good and tough. And she also has the decreased speed that she can hit enemies with. And her passive, it doesn't just heal, it puts increased speed on a random ally on every turn. So if you're doing two-man campaign, for example, that basically means both of the champions that are in your team are always going to be under increased speed. So she's even better when you're doing a two-man team because you only need a single target revive anyway. So when we get to two-man, the harder levels of campaign, we're going to watch Shield of the Drakes, and then we're just going to pair her with whatever nuker is appropriate for that particular stage. They're offering us a gem pack. They know we're out of gems. They know what they're doing. So let's go to the missions. Do we want to push this now? Let's just push it now. I want to get through the artifact missions. So let's go to champions. And we'll take a second attacker. Could be this guy. And let's see. We want go to the fitting room. We'll go to the primary stats. We'll go to the attack percent. So it's got to be this one, and this one. Only costs us 9,000, so that's not terrible. And let's just go ahead and upgrade this all the way to 12. And I did forget something else. I go back to the notes. There's the clan quests at the bottom. So I don't want to forget. I want to go over the clan quests before we go. I told you what they were, but you know, I like to show rather than just do. So we have the sell stuff for silver. We're probably not going to get that today, but when we need to start selling stuff, it's good to have that. And we have one arena challenge as well. And I believe the arena challenge that we have is go first 30 times. So basically, every time we go into the arena and we get to go first, we get a point, as long as we win. Here, let's go back quickly. Go to the clan menu, clan quests. So here, elite quests. We got to earn 5 million silver from selling artifacts. I think we can make it in a week. Even at this stage of the game, I think we can make it. Then we're selling silver in the expert category as well, so we're just going to get here sooner. This way we're doing double duty on this. I could have even done triple and taken it from the basic category, but I wanted another one from this category just so we get an extra bunch of coins because I want to get into the clan shop and I want to get these. I want to get these accessories. They're going to be awesome. We could also probably start getting a legendary nuker, but it'd be a while. Honestly, it would be good to spend on these as well. She is pretty good. We'll put a pin in that idea. So we got 4 minutes. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to our good friend. Who was it again? Skink. I'm going to go back to Skink. We're going to upgrade his gear. You know what? No, never mind. We're going to do the arena fights. We're just going to do the arena fights because basically that's all we got time for. So let's start with this one. Anyway, if we run out of time and we have to sign out, then you know that's all she wrote. But I will finish them offline, or not offline, but off recording. Now let's go ahead and just target Kale. Even if Shaman revives Kale, they'll just... Oh, the targeting came off Kale. That's interesting. Normally it stays even when somebody's knocked out. I guess that's something they changed in the update. So that's 33 seconds. I think we could do it. So this team could be tricky. This team has Demitha. So let's keep an eye on Demitha. She is one of my favorite champions in all of Raid Shadow Legends. And the reason is she can put block damage on everybody. So you encounter her in arena, if her team outspeeds your team, you can be in a lot of trouble. Because if you can't hit them, that means they can take as long as they want to hit you. So at that point, you need somebody who can strip. Going with Grinner on this account is kind of a nice dynamic, because if we take Grinner, he has a AoE buff removal mechanic. We could even use that in the arena, so this is why I'm pretty comfortable making him one of our 5 stars, if not one of our 6 stars, just because he does have a lot of potential that way. It's not like he's going to be endgame viable in that role. He's probably going to be relegated to faction wars. So here, we got time. We're going to do one more, and I think we're going to make it. I think we're going to manage to get our dailies. We'll just highlight Kale, make sure he goes down, and good work, guys. So it feels more powerful now. Shieldguard seems to be hitting a little harder. Kale's hitting a little harder. I did upgrade Sun Wukong's gear a little bit, but it's not like his gear is fantastic. But anyway, we can take this. We go to the weeklies. We've got all this. We'll take the energy tanks. We'll claim that, and we even have a shard. But we're not going to pull it today, sadly. Although it does seem tempting, doesn't it? It's all alone over there. It's all alone. It looks like we want to pull it. And we can even grab these, since those are our dailies. We could go to the passes. Not forget this stuff. No, not just yet. But we can take more of this. We can take some brews. Those are always good. But I think that's about it. I think we should call it, because the game is probably going to interrupt us when we try to do something else. So we've reset the weeklies so we can work towards all this stuff again. And yeah, I think that's it. Just looking over my notes quickly. I don't think I forgot anything. If I did, well, you know, it can wait. So thanks for stopping by and bearing with me for the not quite an hour, but close to an hour. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care.